What if a king with all the power in the world tried to change every road in his kingdom just because he hurt his feet? Sounds absurd, yet it happened, and the lesson that followed, it changed the way his people live forever. Let me take you into a forgotten royal story that holds one of the most powerful truths about life, pain, and personal growth. Don't blink, because in this journey, what starts as a complaint ends in a revelation. Once upon a time, in a land that flourished with music, art, and golden fields, there lived a king named Ariv. He was wise, loved by his people, and ruled a kingdom where peace reigned for decades. Yet, there was one thing the king had never done. He had never stepped beyond the marble walls of his palace, not out of arrogance, but out of duty. From the time he was a boy, he was raised to govern, not to wander. His knowledge of his land came through maps, reports, and royal messengers. But one day in his late 40s, something inside him shifted. As he stood on the palace balcony watching children run, farmers till, and traders bargain, a strange desire sparked within him. How can I call myself king of the people if I've never walked among them? So, he made a decision that surprised his court. He would journey across the kingdom. On foot, the news spread like wildfire. The king would walk through every town, forest, and desert road in his realm. People rushed to prepare. Roads were swept. Flowers were scattered. Elders rehearsed their speeches. Children practiced royal greetings. The journey began with celebration. Trumpets echoed. Crowds roared. And for the first few days, it was magical. But then reality hit. As the king walked deeper into the countryside, the paved roads disappeared. The smooth paths turned into thorny trails, rocky slopes, muddy fields, and burning desert sand. The king, for the first time in his life, felt pain. Blisters covered his feet. The sharp stones dug deep. His guards offered to carry him. His advisors begged him to ride a horse. But he refused. If my people walk these roads daily, he said, then I must too. Weeks into the journey, the king's spirit began to weaken. His legs ached. His feet bled. He could barely sleep from the pain. And when he finally returned to the palace, limping and broken, he collapsed onto his throne. The royal doctors wrapped his wounds. The ministers whispered amongst themselves. And the next morning, the king made a shocking announcement. From this day on, every road in the kingdom shall be covered with leather. No man, woman, or child shall suffer what I've endured. The court was stunned. Cover every road in the kingdom? The cost would be unimaginable. Thousands of cows would be slaughtered. Taxes would rise. And chaos would follow. But who could question the king? The decree was passed. Leather began arriving from across the land. Workers were dispatched. Forests were cleared. And the kingdom braced itself for a transformation. Among the crowd of palace workers was a man named Tanuj, a servant who polished boots and swept floors. Quiet, observant, and poor, he had never spoken to the king directly, but he couldn't sleep that night. Why destroy so much just to fix one man's pain, he thought. Tanuj wasn't bold. He wasn't educated, but he had something that many in the palace had lost: common sense. The next morning, he did the unthinkable. He stepped into the royal court during breakfast, trembling, eyes on the floor. "Why, your majesty," he stammered, "may I speak?" The hall fell silent. The king looked at him, amused. "Speak, servant." Tanuj took a deep breath. "Why must we cover every road with leather when we can simply cover your feet?" The court gasped. Silence. The king leaned forward, intrigued. "Say that again." Tanuj stepped closer. "Instead of changing the roads, change what touches them. Make something like a cover for your feet. Just 2 pieces of leather. Nothing more." The king stared at him. No one dared breathe. Then slowly, a smile crept onto his face. Not a sarcastic one, but the smile of a man who had just been awakened. "Bring me the royal cobbler," he ordered. Within days, the first pair of shoes was made. Simple, rugged, leather soles tied with cloth straps. The king wore them, walked in them, ran in them, and his pain? Gone. He laughed like a child. The leather order was canceled. The roads were left untouched, and the kingdom celebrated. But the king didn't stop there. He invited Tanuj to sit with him every evening and speak about what he saw in the world. things the royal ministers never noticed. He traveled more, but with awareness. He now walked not just as a ruler, but as a learner, and slowly his leadership changed. He stopped trying to fix every complaint with a grand solution. He started listening more, adapting, growing. And when people came to him cry about their unfair lives, harsh neighbors, or difficult days, he would say, "I once tried to cover the world in leather," until a humble man reminded me that real change begins with ourselves. It's tempting, isn't it, to blame the world for our pain, to wish for smoother roads, kinder people, softer challenges. But the truth, you can't fix every road. You can't change every person. You can only change the way you walk through the world. Before you try to change your surroundings, check if the discomfort is simply a call to grow. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is put on a pair of shoes. Don't waste your energy changing the world to fit your comfort. Change yourself to face the world better. Because real strength is not about controlling everything. It's about controlling yourself.